Saeed, I should like first to answer some small questions received by me. Was it through your wife or did Alia send them directly to me? Alia sent them directly to me. Questions asked by her little son Siraj, the nephew of Mrs. Dr. Dawood, whose father died a few months ago. Was it a few months or a year ago? About a year. Yes. When did he die? February this year. Right. So they were deeply shocked, the children were, and many questions started agitating them about the philosophy of life and death and so on. So the questions he has been asking the mother, she wrote to me, but unfortunately they belong to such a serious realm of knowledge that it is not possible for a child of his age to understand them fully. Yet I have tried to explain the same questions quite at some length here in London as well as in earlier question and answer sessions. So I was thinking of how to make him understand the things, because it's very difficult to speak to a child on a subject which is perhaps beyond his reach, but still if it agitates his mind, we must attempt to pacify that agitated mind. So the first question is, why should my father have died of all the people? That he says, I can't understand, as if God has been unjust. That is the implication of this question. So the fact is that if his father was not to die, does it mean that nobody should die at all? Or does it mean that not his father but somebody else's father? So either way you look at it, it does not satisfy one's mind. If nobody is to die, then the whole scheme of life should be changed completely. There should be no death. Death is bad, while in fact death is good. It is the struggle between life and death which has taught man so much. And all these advances have been taking place because of the struggle between life and death and effort. And the manliness is taught to man to accept challenges and to achieve greater things. If there were no struggle between life and death, then there would be nothingness. Then there won't be any Siraj to ask a question to me. Because that Siraj would be an amoeba which will have no mind to even conceive such questions. The whole progress which has taken place is because of this struggle between life and death. So you cannot do away with death anyway. It's impossible. So if you can't do away, then whose father? This is the question. So Allah is very fair about that. Allah has laid down certain rules and regulations in this fight. When the armies move against other armies, there are certain rules of battle which are followed by both. And some people, some soldiers give up their life in that course of struggle. So would a boy of a murdered father, a father killed in the battle, have the right to ask this question? Why it was, for instance, it was the British government who sent their troops to the Falkland Island. Some people lost their lives. So did every boy whose father was killed had a right to ask the British government, why it was my father who got killed? Why not another body's father? And why have you been so unjust to my father? So it would be as unreasonable a question to put to God as it would be unreasonable to put to the British government. Because the rules are laid down for this battle between life and death. And man is initially responsible for maintaining his own health to some degree. But he is also affected by his parents, as his parents were also affected by their parents, and the environments and things. All these are the factors playing very subtle role. in the final outcome of the struggle between life and death. And somebody must die somewhere. And it does not mean that God is being unjust to that particular person. Because if you shift the death from there to some other person, then again the question would arise why God chose that person. So in a situation where you cannot do away with the scheme, some few people have to suffer for the sake of the rest. And one should accept that with good grace. The second part of the question is that does Allah hate us for this? Why? So that part is answered already. God does not hate you for that. Because Allah did not want him to be killed for any obvious sin of his. It was just a general plan in which he fell before many others, and everybody is ultimately to fall. And one should also understand that this scheme of things is not the permanent scheme. It is a transient phase, and only the religious people have that satisfaction. But I'll come to that when we enter the realm of religions later on.